What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Fudd Around and Find Out. Now, I am so excited to be back, but first I want to thank you guys so much for your love and support. I love reading your guys' comments. They're so funny, so please keep that up. Remember, if you want to message us, you can find us at Fudd Around Pod. But for now, Ashanti, we have so much to get into today.
That's right. We definitely have a jam-packed episode. You did so much traveling and we need to hear about it.
We do. But first, Ashanti, what have you been up to since I've been traveling?
Well, this past weekend, I got to host the Jordan Brand Global One Finals. And basically what it is, they found a bunch of high school players from over 17 different cities. And they got to play one-on-one for a chance to sign with Jordan Brand for the year.
Oh, wow.
So I got to host that on Pier 17 on a rooftop. It was so dope.
That sounds super cool.
No, yeah. I also got a chance to meet Maya Moore, who happens to be my favorite player.
Oh. Was she at the game?
Yeah, she was. So that was cool.
That sounds fun.
But that was my weekend. You technically started this journey out in Minnesota and then made your way over to Sonoma. Tell us about that.
So from Minnesota, we flew to San Francisco. And first, like you said, I went to Sonoma. Amy Errett, the founder of Madison Reed, invited my mom and I to her house out there. And so we just had like a nice, relaxing pool day. They made an incredible lunch. Got to hang out with their daughter, Madison, who Madison Reed is named after. So it was a lot of fun. I was so unprepared for the heat that they have out there. And I was like, this is my last day, like relaxing in the sun. Like, I'm not going to put sunscreen on. And I roasted in their pool. I was burnt, but it was like the perfect, just relaxing day before all the craziness that I had coming up.
No, yeah, that sounds like fun. I was going to ask you like a fun or crazy story from your time out there, but I think getting cooked in the pool is definitely up there for one of the funny or crazy stories. Is there anything that you learned from Amy from working with her?
She's just an incredible person. She has like this hunger and energy about her, and the way that she loves, like her passion for getting things done, supporting women, uplifting women, I think is incredible. And it shows in the way that like whenever we talk, communicate, but also the way that she runs her stores and her business. I look up to her. She's such an amazing woman, both as just a person and as a businesswoman. It's incredible.
Okay, businesswoman, getting it done. We love that. So you were also doing something else out in Sonoma, Curry Camp. Tell us about that.
So Curry Camp was it was like where Stanford is. Curry Camp was also a lot of fun. There was a lot of girls that I hadn't met before. I feel like whenever I go to these camps, I feel very old and out of touch with high schoolers. So it's always fun to get to know them, see like who my coaches are recruiting, see who the next big players are. I also got to work out with Steph a little bit and Brandon, his trainer. So it was fun to get some good workouts in, meet these players, and get to enjoy, San Francisco, or we weren't even in San Francisco. I don't know where we were. We got to enjoy the Bay Area a little.
There you go, Bay Area, somewhere out west. Okay, that's cool. So you're back with Steph after a while. Any fun stories from being with him again, reunited?
I actually spent a lot of time with his son, Cannon. He
cutie.
He's a lot of energy. So I had a lot of fun messing with him, and he's an aggressive one, so we played some one-on-one. But that was fun. I felt like Ken and I hadn't really had a bonding moment, and that was it. So hopefully he remembers me next time I see him.
That's cute. I love that. While you were out there, I know Steph enrolls with a lot of people. Is there any pros or exciting people that you got to meet?
There were some pros and some college players, actually. There was Davion Mitchell was there, Quincy Oliveri was there. College players was Tahad Pettiford. I worked out with him one day. There was another guy who played at UNC last year, and I forget his name. He didn't work out with me because he had to take a final, so that's my excuse to not remembering his name. It was Elliot. His name was Elliot. That's what it was. But yeah, it was fun to get to watch Steph work out, but to watch them work out with some of them as well. I always love getting to meet new people, so it was fun for sure.
So what's one thing you learned or will never forget from working out with Steph?
I feel like, one that he misses. Like, he is human.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
But his footwork and just how it's how it looks in a game too, but to see it in a workout and up close, his footwork and just how easy he makes his ball handling and everything. It just flows perfectly. And I feel like working out with someone like him, it raises everyone else who's working out with him. So like whenever I work out with him, or even if I'm just on the other end of the court working out at the same time as him, seeing him down there, knowing I'm in his presence, like elevates my game and elevates, like my intensity and my attention to detail.
I can imagine you're around greatness. So Azzi, you've known Stefan for a long time. Tell us about, it's been, I believe, 7 years. So tell us how your partnership and your relationship has grown with him.
Well, first, it all started when I named my dog Curry after him. That's where it really started. And then at USA Tryouts, his mom was there because they're close with the Brink family. So his mom was there to support Cameron Brink. And I told her, I was like, I named my dog after your son. That's where it all started. Kind of like, man, I put it in the air after that. And then he invited me to a Curry camp after my freshman year. It was like, 2018, something like that. And I was one of the first 2 girls to be invited. And that was such an incredible experience, like something I'll never forget. And I feel like that's kind of the trend with Steph. Like, I feel like he's given me so many opportunities that are just like unreal. And then I was invited back the next year, and he's just someone, like, he's so real. I don't know how, like, so like genuine. Like the kind of like who you see on social media and like in videos and whatever, that's exactly how he is in person. Like, he really truly cares and wants to make and leave the game better, and make everyone around him better. And I think that's what I admire most about him, is just the person that he is, along with the player. Because I mean, when you're someone like him, like, you can act and be whoever you want, and you can really just tell like how amazing he is. But to think, like, when I think about that first year he invited me to camp, there's no way I would ever have expected our like relationship to have continued all these years later and to have grown the way that it has. Like, I am so, so grateful for him and just all the experiences that he's given me.
That's amazing. Incredible person, incredible player. It's rare. He's a rare breed.
Really
and
is.
Now I know I need to name my dog Oprah, so I can put it in the air so I can meet her.
There you go.
I
support that.
That's how it all starts. Okay, so I saw on social media you were at Top Golf with some players. Tell us about that.
I was. So, mind you, I golf maybe once a year. Like, maybe one Top Golf trip a year. So I'm like good for someone who has never been taught, doesn't know actually like how to do anything golf related. Like, I just go out there and just swing. But Quincy and I were talking trash, and I told him I was going to beat him. And he did end up beating me the first game. Maybe the first 2 games. We're not going to talk about that. But it was a lot of fun just to be all the players, all the kids were there from Curry camp, and some of the Curry
who's
team.
Quincy?
Quincy, he played at Rice and then Xavier, and then he was on the Lakers last year. He just went viral for graduating. He just got his master's and he wore his Lakers jersey to graduation. That's where I had seen him before. But it was a lot of fun. I won the last game, and that's what matters. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. But just to compete at a sport that like you know nothing about, I always have fun with.
Yeah, that sounds dope. All right, Azzi. So it started with naming your dog after Curry, and then all these years later, Stefan takes you to China. So we're going to get into that right after the break. And we have a special guest. Azzi, who do we have?
My mom.
Coming up next.
All right, we are back from the break, and our special guest today, joining us live, is my mom, Katie Fudd.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, girl.
Hey.
Okay, so you guys were both in China with Stefan, and me and everyone want to hear all about it. So tell us what that was like.
I think there's so many cool stories and amazing things. Maybe we just go day by day.
Sounds good to me. First, we can start with our incredible flight. We flew first class. I think that was my first time on a flight where you like lay down. So that was like, there were a lot of highlights from the trip. There are some little things like that flight, that seat. I would fly to China, sitting first class, over flying to LA in a normal seat. Like, I'd rather fly 13, 14 hours on that plane. Then, 5 or 6 to LA in a normal seat. It was incredible. Except on the flight out, I fell asleep and I missed every single meal we had on that flight. So I was a little sad because there was a Sunday cart and I was like really looking forward to that and I missed it.
It was really good.
I'm glad you got it.
Yeah. And then at the end of the trip, we realized that you could put something on your screen that said, "Wake me for meals." So,
Rookie mistake.
Oof.
yeah. She'll know for next time.
Next time.
Yeah.
I'm
But
just
I've
glad you
definitely
got
been
to
on
sleep.
overseas flights, walking through that first class section to go to a regular seat and just thinking about how wonderful it would be to be there. And it did not disappoint.
Now you know.
Yeah. And then we went from that flight, and in Beijing, we switched to a private jet to go to Chongqing.
Also our
my
first time on a private jet.
Yeah. I think the coolest part about that, or the funniest part about that, was maybe Tony's seat.
Wait, who's Tony?
Tony is a photographer who works for 30 Inc. And so we got on the plane, and it was a full seats, full private plane. And so as we got in, we sat down, and then Tony got in and found the only open seat. And so it was in the back of the plane, and he's like, "Oh, this is like really spacious. Like there's a bench back there, and it's got so much space, like a lot of leg room. It's great." And then he realized it was the bathroom.
First of all, one thing I'm noticing is you guys go big or go home with the travel. I would love to. Come on, Tony. Come on, Stephen.
Yeah. So every time someone had to go to the bathroom, Tony had to get up from his seat and hang out. So needless to say, on the way back to Beijing, he did not get the bathroom seat.
Good for him.
Yeah. Then we got to Chongqing, and the hotel that we stayed at was like pretty far away from everything. So it was like a 40-minute drive, probably, would you say?
I was falling asleep. I don't remember.
But were you awake watching? Did you see the car that was driving past us?
No, I was like fighting for my life. Like my eyes were I was just trying to.
You missed the whole car? There was one car that was just driving erratically, and the passenger was waving a Steph Curry Warriors jersey out the window, and he was like driving up to every black van and slowing down and then going the other way.
Really?
And then, yeah, you missed that?
You literally took a video of me fighting for my life. In
Yeah,
the
but I didn't know if
backseat.
your eyes had opened at all because we were talking loudly. So
No.
yeah. So that was our first introduction of just the fanatical fans, the absolute love over there for basketball and all things Stephen Curry. It was that was a really cool introduction to it. And then we never saw the front of the hotel. We never saw the lobby of the hotel because they just said there was too many people out front. So we had to go in through the garage.
It was like every building we went to, we never saw the front. Just the back way and the garage and the underground, back door exit.
Then the next morning we woke up, had breakfast.
No, the next morning you woke up, you went to work out.
Oh yeah, I went to work out, and in the
Yes.
gym was people, like someone slept in the workout room in the hotel, waiting for a glimpse of Steph Curry, or to be close
Whoa.
to someone who's close to him. So I would say there were probably, what would you say, like 10 people, 12 people waiting outside the.
Yeah, it was like 10 the first morning. It wasn't that many. I couldn't sleep. Then I wanted to watch the sunrise, so I just went up and saw her working out, and she's like, "Look at all these people." And as I was getting ready to leave, one of the guys called me back, and he's like, "I have something for you." And I'm like, "You have something for me to sign?" And so I go back, and I'm like, "Okay, fine." And he pulls out a Labubu for me, and he's like, "For you." And I'm like, "For me?"
Aww.
And he has me open it, and I was like, "Wow, this is so nice." And then he had me sign some pictures. I was like, I've never gotten a gift like this from someone. And like back home, I get lots of bracelets from younger girls, but like this was a like grown man, not grown, he's probably like 30s, but like I've never gotten anything from any guys in the U.S. So I was like, wow, this is very sweet of you.
I think 30s has grown.
That's very grown.
Yeah.
That's very grown.
The culture over there is very different. It's very giving. It's very appreciative. It's very, so many people had gifts for Steph. So many people had, and you got a couple gifts as well of, not just like, here, sign this and sign this and sign this. And I've got more and more for you to sign. But it's like, here, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. This is for you. Can you please sign something for me? Then we went to the gym, and it was at like an expo center, but it was the largest expo center I've ever seen, like a convention center. And so you warmed up with Carl running things with Steph.
Carl
and
is Steph's trainer.
yeah.
So I worked
Oh,
out.
so you worked out with Steph, Seth, and his trainer?
Yeah, so that's Carl's like his strength guy. Like yeah, he does strength stuff, and then Brandon is his on-court trainer. So I warmed up with
What was
Carl.
that like? You got the original Splash Bros.
It was really cool. I'd never met Seth before. So to get to shoot with both of them was fun. They're both really good shooters, obviously. So like I was saying earlier, you just like it makes you focus more. It makes you like pay attention to those details because you don't want to miss in front of them.
Of course.
So you had the Curry Camp players come in. I know you didn't interact a ton with them, but what was the feel or the vibe of like they were from all different countries, not just China. We were in China, but they weren't just from China. So where were they all from, and how did you feel communicating with people that didn't necessarily speak English?
So most of the girls were from China. There was a few from Thailand, a couple from Taiwan, from Japan, one girl from Australia. So there was one girl that spoke English, and the rest of them spoke all different languages. Like they couldn't even all communicate with each other. And it was really weird at first. Like I didn't really know how to communicate anything to them besides by like demonstrating. But I had no idea how do you explain like what to do without just showing it. Like they don't understand what's coming out of my mouth. And
I can see your brain turning. Like there's stuff I want to say, but they can't understand me. So should I say it or should I not say it?
The first morning was just like a lot of like goods and good jobs and high fives. That's about all that came out of my mouth. And except like to the Australia, like I talked to the Aussie a little bit. But other than that, yeah, the first morning was very uncomfortable for me because I just had no idea how to go about it. And my mom is like, basketball's a universal language. Figure it out.
Come on,
not helpful
Katie.
at all.
She figured it out.
I did, but not the first day.
Not the first day, no.
They didn't have translators?
They did have a couple of translators, but
they didn't all speak Chinese. So the translators spoke Chinese, right?
Yeah, I think there was one that spoke Japanese, but even then, like she wasn't always around.
Yeah, it was interesting to watch. Like I was in the bleachers watching. It was interesting to watch them, the players, really focus on what the demonstrations were, right? Like as the people demonstrated, then it was like, all right, now I understand what we're doing.
You were right. Basketball is a universal language. They could see it and they'll get it done.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, there was a drill that the girls were doing. They started the drill doing it wrong. And I'm like, there's no way I can be like, okay, like you're actually supposed to do this instead of that. So we had to stop the entire drill and like re-demonstrate it because you can't just say like, oh, instead of running straight, like you have to zigzag. You can't.
But it's also more of an exaggerated demonstration, I would think, right? To get them to understand, like, okay, now I'm going to come here and do this. And then, just to like really get them to get those points. But I mean, by the end, it worked out great. Then from lunch.
We went to CurryCon.
Yep, we went to CurryCon.
So we went to CurryCon before it had opened to the public. So we got to walk through and kind of see what was there. And I had no idea what to expect. They kind of kept explaining it like CurryCon was the Steph Curry equivalent to Comic-Con. And
but we've also never been to Comic-Con. So
yeah, I've only like seen what I imagined was like people dressing up in like action figures. So then I imagined like that, but Steph Curry version. And that's literally what it was. And there were different, like around the outside, it was like mini games, like shooting games, ball handling, like some like little stores with like Steph Curry basketballs. There was a section, people brought in their cars that they had decorated with like decals and different things, all Steph Curry related. And then inside the cars and like right outside, there was like a little table, little booth. Each table was something different. Like one table had like porcelain shoes, and someone had made like each one of his different versions of shoes. Like handmade them and like painted them. There was one with like a whole bunch of different like Steph Curry Labubu dolls. There was one, like there were so many. I mean, what were the other ones?
I can't even remember, but it was just that I thought the cars were the coolest thing. The amount of effort and detail that went into those was crazy.
And they were all very different too.
Yeah. There was another section where someone had every single like Steph Curry shoe ever.
Yeah, it was like their personal collection. I think it was maybe two guys, like their personal collection.
Yeah.
And they were saying that some of like the Curry team was saying that there were shoes that hadn't even been released. Like there were like versions of them that they then went back and like changed a couple details and then released them. And there were those versions that were still like never made it out of house. And then they also had both of my PEs, which was really cool. And I'm like, how did you get those? So that was crazy to see. I got to take a picture with them and with the shoes because that was super cool. It's a nice surprise.
Well, the love is really real for stuff in China and you, AZ. So that's crazy. Sneakers,
cars.
What else?
Yeah. So then they
Cars.
went out to the front, and they opened up Currycon with this humongous hoop, and they had them each shoot and make a basket in the hoop to open up Currycon, and Azzi got to be the first shooter.
Hey, as you should.
I airballed my first shot.
No.
It was really
AI.
high. No, it
was
was
AI.
really high.
It actually
And
wasn't
she
even
was
you.
further back than she probably should have been, thinking like, oh, I'll just be back here, but not realizing actually how high it was. I mean, it was at least 20 feet in the air.
It was really high.
Mom, it was AI. That's
Well,
what we
in
going
fairness,
with.
I think everyone airballed their first shot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Steph shot 10 times, you shot 5, and Seth shot 5. And people were there just for like any chance to get close to Steph. And then the girls did their workout. And then what happened at the end of that
Wait,
one?
I think I saw that, and I'm pretty sure AZ hit the most threes. Is that same day? It was 3. All 3 of you guys had a rack, and you were shooting.
That might
I
have
think I
been
saw
that
that
day.
on social. Okay, yeah. Well, we got the best shooters in the world, and my girl AZ hit the most shots. I don't know.
So that day, when we were they were wrapping up on court, and we were getting ready to walk out. What happened?
So they had security everywhere. Security was everywhere. Like we each had our own personal security, and then just like around the event, there was security everywhere to make sure, like, because these fans they love Stefan. And one of the girls, I like heard it happen. She jumped over the barrier, down the bleachers, and tried to run on the court. And the security
She ran
guard,
on the court.
She did run on the, but she was like a little smaller than me, but super skinny. The security guard, they ran after her and just like snatched her up. Like her legs were like in the air, snatched her.
It was like an old school version of Red Rover. No young kid has played Red Rover because it's so dangerous.
With
But,
the
like,
arms out.
Yeah, as you link hands and someone tries to break through. And so as she was running, they just boom, just grabbed
Yeeted
her
her.
head here and
Yeet.
just swung her back around, which was like,
Yeet.
whoa, did that just happen? But it was such a quick reaction on the security part. It was really funny.
Shout out
Yeah,
to the
that was
security.
crazy. I can't believe she even made it through, but
Shifty.
What did she think she was going to accomplish?
that's what I
I'm
was
just-
wondering.
Just
Like,
a
was she gonna
chance to
tackle
touch.
Steph? Like, what?
Maybe just give him a hug.
Just a chance.
Because they were it's not like anyone was like aggressive. They were just so excited, and they're very gentle and kind, and so I don't think she was trying to come do anything other than just be close to him, maybe touch him, hug, something. Is my
touch
thought.
Steph Curry? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know. I'm trying to touch him too, see if the jump shot, you know what I mean, rub off on me. I get that thinking. I get that.
So then the second day was kind of the same thing, workout in the morning, and then normal curry camp in the morning, and then they split, right? And the boys went to CurryCon, and then Azzi had the girls all alone. She was in charge.
Okay. Head lady in charge.
Yeah, head lady in charge. How'd that go?
It was good. It actually was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I was really nervous, but I felt like there was less, like, without the guys, and there was, like, less energy, less, like, it was more chill. So I got to know the players a little bit better, which, like I'd said before, was really hard, and I didn't really do a great job of the first day. So I got to know them a little bit better. That was when I started to learn a little bit of Chinese. But it felt easier to interact with them without like
Nah.
the other court going and like us having to keep up with the guys, and like we could break down things a little bit better. We could go over things a little bit better. So it was actually fun to, actually have a real moment with some of those girls.
Do you
You
remember?
gotta tell us a word.
Yeah, do you
I was
remember
gonna
the word
say.
Yes. Well, I forget, was it good job or like very good? It was, oh gosh, I'm gonna get roasted if I say it wrong.
You got this. You got this. You got this.
It was how young da. How young
Okay.
da.
And what does
Yeah.
that mean?
Did you
Good
like
job.
say it like
It's like,
how young da?
yeah, she said, how young, duh.
How young da.
Yeah.
And I think it means good job or very good. One of those two. And then I also learned how cho was good ball.
Mm.
What was the other one they kept saying? Jayo. Was that
Yeah.
it? Jayo? I'm pretty sure that was it. Means like fighting. So those were my
Okay.
three. And they
But like
used,
fighting, like compete,
yeah, like
fighting. not
it
like
felt like a let's
fighting.
go kind of, like,
Yeah.
because they would
Mhm.
like get a stop or like they get
Fight.
scored on. They'd be like Jayo, Jayo. And I'm like, okay, I mean, it's giving like let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
cool.
we learned all that. Then the Yao Foundation, so Yao Ming, he has a foundation over there that they're trying to bring basketball to girls in the countryside to get more girls playing. They say a lot of boys play, but they're trying to get more girls playing. So they brought in a group of, would you say like 10 to 15?
Probably, yeah.
Younger girls, and one was 14 years old, but I think they were all younger. We split and did like a really young group, and then kind of the older of the young kids. So maybe like 11 to 14-year-olds, and then 7 to 10-year-olds. And the Curry campers stayed and helped, which was really...
It was the
I love that
Chinese
so
Curry
much.
camper stayed, and the Australian.
Yeah.
But stayed to explain because these younger girls also didn't speak. There was a few of the Chinese girls that spoke English. But none of these younger girls did. So they stayed and demonstrated and helped translate and communicate like what we were doing. And that was probably one of the coolest, one of my favorite parts. Because like I had just finished like feeling like I actually bonded and had like a productive session with the older girls. And then they stayed and helped with the younger girls. And so to be able to have that interaction with them and like see the younger girls actually smile and understand what we were doing and have fun, that was really cool.
Yeah. What did we do right after that?
I don't know, but at some point that day we did go on a side quest.
Oh, yeah. That was in between.
Ooh.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was
yeah. Go back
before.
to that. Back
So
up.
we had like a 3-hour break in between events, and like I said, they were very worried about security. So we were in what we call like the green room, which was like this little room with a couch that we were eating in and changing in. And I asked, like, would it be possible to go on a side quest, go adventure? Like there was no real set time to go out in the city and kind of be a tourist or look around. And so they asked, we got approval, and we went to a mall that was nearby. I really wanted to get some snacks. So we went to a mall nearby. First of all, this mall was huge, and they said that this was not a big mall for them. It was huge. And we were walking through, and in the back, there was like a market. It was like a grocery store.
Supermarket is what it said.
Okay, well, yeah, it was a supermarket. And I wanted to get snacks, and it was just like rows and rows of snacks. And nothing is English, so like obviously some of the brands, like like Nestle, Lay's,
I got
like
a pack
Pringles.
of Oreos. I was
But
really
other than
excited.
that, like this is all written in Chinese and not like our alphabet. Like, you can't even like
Make it out,
You
yeah.
can't even guess what these snacks are. So I'm like, Elaine, what is this? Elaine, what is that? And she's like, how do you want me to explain this? And I'm like, well, just pick what your favorite snacks are. And she was like, well, what do you want? Like, do you want sweet or salty? I'm like, I want everything. So we ended up just whatever like looked pretty. Like I picked a bag because it was pink. I picked a bag because like, we were just picking random
As you should.
stuff. And so when we got back, we made a rule that whoever was in the room, if you were in the room, you had to try the snack. There was no saying no. If we opened a snack and you were in the room, you had to eat it. And
you couldn't spit it out. You had to eat
You
it.
had to eat it. You couldn't spit it out.
Oof.
But it was a dangerous game because, like I said, like we had no idea what we got. So when you opened it and you saw it, even if it looked scary, you had to eat it. You had to try it.
I would say the
Ooh.
worst was the tofu. That texture
Yeah, the
was
tofu was pretty
just...
bad.
It was spicy. The flavor actually wasn't bad. It was just more the texture of it. And then, what was that? It was some squiggly vegetable.
It was a vegetable.
That's the one that Tim threw up.
Some root. It was spicy.
Yeah, it was super spicy. And once again, the texture. And it would just honestly look like a worm. But it wasn't. She said it was a
Or like
vegetable.
a squid or something.
Yeah, but she said it was a vegetable.
You just have to go in with an open mind.
Mhm.
Like, don't
Oof.
go in with any like assumptions of what you're going to eat because you're going to be disappointed. Or not disappointed, but like it's not going to be
Shocked.
what you expect.
You're
Yeah,
going to be shocked.
shocked.
There's a definite shock factor. But then you took your snacks and you went into Steph's room.
Yeah, I made Steph and Seth try them. And like one of the bags of Lay's that we got was salted egg yolk flavor. But it tasted like seafood. It tasted like a clam or, I don't know, it tasted like
Wait.
the ocean.
I mean, I like seafood, so that.
No one
Wasn't
liked
bad.
the chip.
No one liked the chip.
Oh.
It was not.
But then the other chip was black truffle.
There's a black
the
truffle one,
Pringle?
then there was like a spicy rice cracker, which
Yeah.
is also good, I thought.
Yeah. So some of the snacks were really good, but some of the flavors were just like I'm sure another flavor of the Lay's would have been fine, but the salted egg yolk just wasn't it.
Yeah, egg yolk is kind of crazy, not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah. And the first bite of it was like everybody was like, okay. And then as you chewed it, it was like, no, not it. Mm-mm. We went on another side quest.
Another side quest. We went to like this touristy area and we like walked around. It was really cool. It was so hot outside, but it was cool to look
It was like
at.
an ancient little like city area.
Yeah.
There's a ton of
Nice.
up and down, ton of stairs, like cobble stairs and all
The
that kind
view
of
was
stuff.
pretty though.
Yeah, very pretty. Then we went to another mall.
We had time left, so we went to another mall. We got more bubble tea, and we kinda
That
just
mall was
walked
bigger than
around.
the first mall.
That mall was bigger, which is hard to believe.
And they still said that wasn't the
there were like
biggest.
trees inside. It was crazy.
What?
Yeah, it was like a little park inside. But they had another bubble tea place, the same place, Hey Tea. So we got
Yeah,
another
that
bubble
was-
tea.
Highlight for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so good. So basically everywhere that we went, like even at the government building, we were like up high, and down on the sidewalk below were like hundreds of people just standing there like with jerseys yelling, Steph Curry, I love you, Steph Curry, like chanting MVP. Like, and then when we were on the boat, there were people on like little boats next to us chanting his name. People still on the sidewalk, like we're like on the boat going by, and people are yelling at him. And so this time we got out of the car and we had to like walk like through the sidewalk into this like old city. I don't remember what
Yeah,
it's
but they
called.
had the whole street blocked off. The whole
and there
area
were
was blocked
hundreds of people.
off. I think
standing there.
thousands.
That was thousands?
Honestly. Like
I don't know
yeah,
how to gauge like, that amount of people, but
There's so many people.
and all you just hear is screaming and yelling, and I don't know how the security guards were like, they had their arms on the rails, like
Like
feet,
their
like,
full
in a
bodies
split squat
leaning, like at a
position,
45
like,
degree angle,
pushing
holding.
against it, like trying to push all the fans back to make sure they don't come through. But that was crazy to see that many people there.
I can't even imagine what Steph actually felt like with that. Like these people just screaming his name, and like he's a big deal here, right? He's Steph Curry, but over there he is the deal. It's
yeah,
a very
for sure.
different feel. So it was just people on top of people on top of people.
Yeah, then there was a rooftop party to finish it, and had some
Nice.
karaoke.
You sang a little bit, right?
I did sing a little, some One Direction.
Okay.
Which song?
Go to karaoke song.
That's What Makes You Beautiful.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Azzi learned a new card game.
Yeah, they taught me how to play spades, so that was a lot of fun. I think we played cards the entire time on the private jet, and then when we got to the little waiting room, they taught me how to play spades.
We were really just trying to stay
Yes.
awake and not sleep because we wanted to sleep on the plane.
Yes. So also, I need to,
Yes.
continue to learn how to play spades and get better. So if there are any Black people in Connecticut that will play spades with me, please, I need some
Girl, just
spade
come
partners.
to New York, because I'm also a new beginner in spades, but I learned that you have to keep playing in order to like really know how to play. And it's no joke, like no talking across the board, a bunch of crazy stuff. So yes.
All right,
Keep it
next
up,
time I
girl.
see you, you gotta play. Gotta find some people to play.
I'm glad to hear you guys really enjoyed China. It sounds like they love Stephen Curry out there, and you guys, Curry did his big one, taking care of you guys and making sure the whole experience was great. So I love that. What is the biggest thing you learned about Stephen on this trip?
I feel like the craziest thing was just the reach he has, like kind of what my mom was saying. Like he is Stephen Curry. Like he's famous here, but seeing kind of just how people view him over there and how impactful and powerful he is, and like literally across the world, was unreal. And people had kind of told me about it and tried to prepare me, but there's nothing like actually seeing that firsthand and getting to experience that. Like the first time we were on the court, like all he had to do was dribble a basketball, and they were like, oh! And I'm like, he's on the sideline dribbling a basketball, and they're freaking out. So that was crazy just to see like how impactful and how powerful he is, and like I thought that was just so remarkable.
Okay, so if you could go back to China, or like if you could, would you, and what would you do? What didn't you get to do that you would do if you go back?
I would definitely go back to China, and I would love to do more like touristy things, or just be able to actually be like submersed into their culture a little bit more. I felt like we didn't get the full food experience because we were so busy. A lot of our meals were like delivered to us from the hotel or from somewhere else, but we didn't get to actually go out. And now their main dish was that they're known for is hot pot, and I know I wouldn't have been able to eat that because it would have been way too spicy for me. But I still like would have loved to like go out and go to like a normal restaurant and see what that's like, or I don't know, something like that.
I would love to go see the pandas.
Oh yeah, the pandas too, for sure.
So you guys had some fans that wanted to give you some gifts in real life. How did you get these gifts?
Yeah, so they actually DM'd someone. I think they DM'd my agent Jack, and so she was able to message. Our phones didn't work, so she was able to message and coordinate with people that were with us to go pick up the gifts. And so I got the gifts I think on the second day, and these girls gave me, it was a Labubu for me, a Labubu for Paige, a panda, these little cute custom, like, what would you call them, name tags. It was so sweet of them to like think of me and bring a gift. Like I said, I'm not used to that, so for them to go out of their way to do that. And then I was able to meet one of the girls the next day. She didn't even have a ticket for the last day, but she like stayed around and drove all the way back just for the chance to maybe get to meet me. And so I thought, like I said, to see the reach that Steph has, but then to be over there and have people know who I am and be fans of me, I thought it was incredible. And I was just in shock about how like surreal that was. And so getting to meet that girl who did that was amazing. I got to give her a hug and thank her in person because that really was so sweet of her to do.
The love is real for you out there in China.
I felt it.
Okay, now it's time for the What the Fudd of the Week. If you don't know, the What the Fudd of the Week is a story or something maybe crazy that's happened this past week that we highlight on the show. So, AZ, what's your What the Fudd of the Week?
My What the Fudd of the Week would be the heated toilet seats that they had in our hotel. They were incredible, and I definitely wrote down in my notes to keep in mind for when I have my own house that I need a heated toilet seat. I'd change that. I would add on to that at the CurryCon,
the gym.
The gym. They, not all of their toilets were Western toilets. Some of them were just holes, and that was a different experience. I had never.
The contrast between a heated toilet seat and being in a hole.
That was different for sure. And they also don't have toilet paper. So Elaine had like a thing of tissues in her purse. And so she was like, just in case. And I'm like, what do you mean just in case? I don't need to blow my nose. And she was like, no, for the toilet. And I was like, what?
Yeah, and they don't flush in those holes. You don't flush the toilet paper down. You put it in a wastebasket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the smell in there was nothing like I've ever smelled.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
You went from being spoiled with heated seats to having to squat over a hole in the ground. Oof, amazing. Now we're going to move on to our game of the week. So I have a question for both of you. What are the top 4 places that you guys have visited?
I would definitely say China's one.
China for sure is up there.
Yeah, China for sure. I think the Yukon European trip, Slovenia was great. Bologna was great in terms of the food. I would say
that whole trip was great.
That whole trip was great
That's
too.
But if one.
Okay, one. Cayman Islands.
Cayman Islands for sure. That was when I was hurt. And my team, that was a struggle tournament for them. But I was living my best life on the beach and snorkeling. Everyone else, when you ask them about that trip, they hated it. They're like, I'm never going back. I was like, I'll go back.
Yeah, you get to swim with the
stingray.
The stingray, hold a starfish. Yeah, so it was pretty cool. And then
the cruise.
And the cruise.
Cruise.
The cruise for sure.
That's a good
awesome.
4. That is a great 4. Can we top those?
We will.
Okay, good.
I don't know how, but we will.
Soon come.
And that is a wrap on today's episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcast to fud around and find out. We'll see you guys next week.